freaks. I won't be like you. I'll die for...
Sorry, son. Alright, I got a skull. So if you're wondering what a skull is, it's... Alright, well, it looks like we got little buggers to... So you're gonna go straight in further, right? You dumbass. Objective escape? What do you mean escape? Where the hell am I getting out of here? Holy shit, they just pile in. Alright, bomb time. Run like a son of a bitch! Run! The hell? Ah! I had two of those guys ambushing me there. Not bad, I got close.
I must reset the map. Please continue on. I will rejoin you whenever needed.
But I don't want to ride the elevator, yeah. I was almost through that. You just gotta be patient as you're going through. Fourth floor, tools, guns, keys to super weapons. Ha! Ooh, Cortana!
12 hours. 12 hours I've been stuck in here, watching you cozy up to that thing.
Quick cover! Reversal! Oh my god, the retro ball's got on a roll up! Ontario just couldn't get out of that cover! Super kick!
Let go!
Third!
Let go!
Super kick party! Yeah, pay the money for that.
They seem to be really feeling the
There we go! Let's go! Let's go! No doubt! Over the foul pole! Let's go! I'm getting notes here and notes there and notes. Stimulation is the key word here. Lots of stimulation. Yo, and away we go. And happy Saturday to one and all. Welcome to our AEW Collision Sidecast here. It is August 22nd, 2026. I'll be God honest with you folks. I'm skipping a WWE house show for this. Well, frankly, because I had to make a choice. I had to pick either going to WWE tonight or watching AEW next week because the cost is actually cheaper to watch AEW. Cheapest ticket right now is $100 Canadian for the house show tonight here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So I just decided, sometimes discretion is a little better part of valor. And PJC firing up already here. Good call, skipping WWE. $100 for a house show is outrageous. Abso-freaking-lutely. I've heard that from a lot of people, and the only people that I'm hearing going are the ones that, they're going for their kids. And it really makes me think about why I enjoy going to AEW right now and enjoy the AEW product. Even though I am paying $50 to watch their pay-per-view next week. Which, be as it may, it's, you're still going to get your money's worth for that. So, but yeah, tonight, Collision, lots of fun. We're going to have, there's a little bit of a hitch in some of the matches. If you guys didn't get a chance to watch Ring of Honor last night, Eddie Kingston, I hate to say it, but Eddie Kingston did look a little rough in his quarterfinal, and he just couldn't go this week. So, unfortunately, there was supposed to be a street fight last night on the pay-per-view. That got canceled, and Eddie got canceled for tonight. So, in a buy-in match, Adam Priest took on Daniel Garcia. The winner got Eddie's slot. Garcia won, and tonight we are going to get Claudio versus Garcia. The Death Riders going at it, and yeah, it's going to be a little bit of nuts here, folks. Because I got a weird feeling we're going to get Death Riders against each other in the semifinals as well. Because I'm still putting money on Claudio Mox in the semis. It's just too good of a story there, but yeah, on top of that, sorry, I just got the card to my left here for tonight. We're going to get the one match that hasn't been announced, Commander and Speedball Bailey taking on the team of Nick Wayne and Tommaso Ciampa. That is going to be a fun match tonight. So I think Eddie Kingston should consider moving to commentary or managing. He has not looked good since his return from managing. He isn't going to... Yeah, either you do that, and he's actually explained in a promo that he's been pushing himself a little bit more than he should in terms of how hard he was pushing to get himself back because he wanted to be a part of this tournament. And yeah, either get on commentary or get yourself right, because I know it sucks you haven't been out there in a long time, but with all due respect, a guy like Eddie Kingston needs to be at 100% in order for him to be effective. And I don't see him being in that position anytime soon. So we're going to get the Divine Dominion. Oh, they're doing a 5-minute eliminator tonight. So one sad sack of teams is going to be ran through, as they call it. Yeah, we're going to get Claudio and Garcia based on what happened last night. By the way, if you haven't seen Death Before Dishonor from yesterday and you spend the $10, get the Honor Club, check out the replay. It's AEW, it's AEW light, basically. Ring of Honor, like some of the stuff, I was a little bit disappointed in the TV title match for the women. I was disappointed for the men's in a different way, but the women's just felt like they were going at about 2/3 speed of where they need to be. But that's what Ring of Honor's there for, right? To give these people opportunities to work through things. And the pay-per-view the pay-per-view aspect just heightens a little bit more of it, but the fact that Red Velvet won and the fact that Marina took another fall, not very happy about it. Only got to catch the men's world title. Except for the ending of the TV title match for the men, the match without honor between Andretti and Leo. I loved every second of it. The trios title match was actually pretty good to start off the show there with the Lethal Twist win the 6-man titles. You also, Steph DeLander and Deonna Purrazzo is pretty decent. You could tell that DeLander's not used to the pure style at all. She used up her 3 rope breaks and intentionally got herself warned for a punch and almost got a victory, but ended up losing to the Venus de Milo. The double armbar submission that she has. Hey, Mr. Zodiac, good to see you here tonight. We also had the men's Pure Rules match. That was actually pretty fun. Shibata, with all due respect, as that match went on, I thought Shibata was going to win the title off Moriarty. Like, I know we didn't get Nigel last night, but Shibata was a hell of a game changer there. And I that's the first time I've ever seen the champ lose all 3 rope breaks in a Pure Rules title match. And with Lee Moriarty doing that, he snuck it out. He snuck it in the back door to win. And not in that way, okay? Let's just keep things calm here. Keep things civil. Athena and Azuki was actually pretty cool. One thing that was pretty cool about it is the fact that a lot of people were complaining about the outside interference by the Minions. Athena was literally having a asthma attack at ringside while the Minions were going after Azuki. So good on them for the distraction. They got the inhaler in her and got things settled that way. And then, yeah, PJC, just like you mentioned, that Nick Wayne Bandito match, my God, that was a lot of fun. Like we always say, when there isn't expected to be a title change, how likely is it that we're going to have one? And that literally was what it looked very close that Nick Wayne was going to win on numerous occasions. But yeah, tonight we're going to get Orange versus Kyle. We're going to get Garcia versus Claudio. And the Priest versus Knight match was hard, or Priest versus Garcia match was hard hitting. But you could tell that not only the wrestlers, but the commentators were a little off for the fact they had to call the match. So overall, I think it was a pretty good show. It definitely is worth the $10 for the month. But yeah, tonight, main event, Willow Nightingale, Maya World for the World Women's title. Why? It's about as much as makes sense as charging $100 for a house show ticket. Yeah, for the record, I'm about a half-hour bus ride away. Maybe a 20-minute drive away from a WWE house show here in town. And it's $100 for the cheapest seat right now. That's the best way to sum that up. I'd rather spend my time with you guys because it honestly, I think while the wrestling's going to be good, don't get me wrong, it just ain't worth it for that kind of price right now. So, and everyone loves I guess. We're starting with Orange and Kyle tonight. This is going to be fun. So, just a heads up, a little bit of housekeeping before we get going here. Tonight, we are going to have episode 14 of BPW Madness. It's going to feature the North American Connection, Seth Ross and Nick Ontario taking on the team of Ophelia Payne and Fanboy Brian. Speaking of the North American Connection, good to see you tonight, Nats. We're also going to see Mellow Beast with Jay Williams in his corner taking on Game Time Will Jackson. And in our main event tonight, we are going to have the Emperor's Champion Diamond take on Morgan Cross of the Lux and Loggers. If if Morgan Cross can be successful, then Vivian Sinclair gets the title shot at Showcase Showdown against the Empress champion. And Morgan Cross is being selfless enough that she wants to do that. But the other reason I wanted to bring up Madness here is just to clear things up. We're going to have Madness tonight. We're going to have our Showcase Showdown night 1 next Wednesday. Next Saturday, there will not be a Madness. After working a 32-hour shift and then having to get up at 7 in the morning the next morning, basically to get ready to stream for 9:30 local. Yeah, no, I'm already calling it. I don't want to be half asleep when it comes to hour 5 of All In. So we'll be here for Collision, and then that'll be a wrap-up for the night. But yeah, Showcase Showdown will be over the next 2 weeks here, but we'll get a little bit more into that as we go along. So, hey, Mike, and $100 for a ticket. Where was the seat located? Top of the first bowl. They're not. It's a hockey arena, right? So. We're going to get a fist bump. There's the respect right there, the glasses. Oh, good. At least we're taking care of those, right? But yeah, they're in the Oilers hockey rink tonight. And yeah, it's the top of the... It's the top of the first bowl. They've completely closed off the second bowl because they know they're not going to get that many tickets. So, and then scale 1 to 10. How excited am I for an All In? I'm gonna make it a simple 8. I'm not gonna go all the way 10 yet. I'll be straight up and simple for you. I need a match on the card that does not involve titles. 7.5. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, floor seats for tonight were about $150 for the upper floor, or the near the back floor seats. It's not too bad. I've been to that arena, but still price. Yeah, that's what I mean, Logan. Like for a house show, I could justify maybe $50. But I actually say to myself, it's 50% less to buy a pay-per-view. And plus the fact a lot of the wrestlers that I want to see there are either being... House shows used to be... house shows used to be $20 up here, Canadian. Which is like 75 cents American, right? Orange taking the easy way out here. But, yeah, no, a lot of the wrestlers I want to see are either their contracts are not being renewed, they're not going to be there, or they've just been out and out released. I think the biggest news over the last 48 hours is the fact that Ilya Dragunov is officially a free agent right now. Like his contract's up and done. Do I expect to see him at Wembley? More than likely. That Casino Gauntlet, you might... I think TK's got to have no choice but to put a surprise entrant in the Gauntlet. Because it's almost going to turn into a Rey Mysterio 2015 Royal Rumble thing if he doesn't, right? Because everybody's going to be looking for that new entrant throughout that entire match. Whether it be Stephen Fairley or whether it be Austin Creed, Kofi. I almost used the other K word. Can't use that right now. Whether it be Ilya, whether it be like any of them. Hell, Malachi, for all we know, could be showing up. It's so funny how this match is literally turned into a comedy / technical masterpiece. O'Reilly looking for that ankle lock. Does Ilya show up? What I would actually like to see. What I would actually like to see is maybe on the Wednesday after you have an announcement in the ring that you have Kevin Knight out there saying, look, I've beaten everybody. I've beaten Speedball. I've beaten Darby. I've beaten all the challengers that have come in front of me. I need some real competition. Or hell, it's either Knight does this or Moxley does this if he wins the Continental Cup. And he turns around and says, I need some real competition. Literally, everything goes black. And then you have the New Japan Pro Wrestling logo come up on the screen, followed by the words Ilya Dragunov. Which, by the way, Ilya still has rights to his own name, so he's one of the few that still has that ability. So I would love to see Ilya in AEW, except I want to see him on a dual contract. Still waiting on Kyrie? Yeah, I'd have to say, there's the other thing. I'll get back to Kyrie in 1 second here. Counter argument. Can I add sign for the Knight angle? Have Knight beat Steve Borden and then bring out Ilya? I think you literally have Steve Borden out there next week with Kevin Knight just to piss off Darby. Darby will show up for the pay-per-view. Well, they're trying to do picture-in-picture, but the audio screwed up. No video, just audio. All right, I guess they're going to get some free audio advertising here. I don't know. But to me, Kyrie, honestly, is probably one of the most disappointing points right now in AEW. The fact that, and this is something I talked about when you guys were asking me what my hype level is for this upcoming week. And that's why I say it's an 8, because we literally do not have a match that doesn't include a title. There we go. Now the picture changed. Honestly, I think it should be, it's not disappointing. She might be signed. We don't know her. It's his choice to be. Yeah, that's fair. It's disappointing for the fact that, you could be disappointed and still look for the best for her, right? Sometimes in life you do need to get a little bit greedy. Hell, if I was doing the normal thing that I would always do, I'd be waiting for doors to open up for a house show here momentarily. So sometimes you got to do a lot of things for you, right? And if it's Kyrie's choice to take the time off, that's fine. You got greedy and got the engineering job. There you go. Take a risk. But don't be afraid to be disappointed. Hell, I get disappointed all the time. That's just the way life is these days. But as we're going along, sometimes you'll get something that'll just take off and go. And Nats, you're an example of that. And I know others here, it's others in the chat here who have actually gotten really good jobs out of what they've been going through, and a lot of great stuff like that. So, but yeah, just for me, I need to see I need to see some more matches that just don't involve titles. Like, there are enough rivalries out there. Are we going to have all title matches and then 2 gauntlet matches, maybe? Like, I'm thinking we're about 4 or 5 matches short of a full pay-per-view here. And I know we're going to have 0-hour stuff as well. Wouldn't surprise me if I saw Grado out here for a match at Wembley. No Excalibur tonight. Riccaboni after calling... I'd have to say, like, this week was actually probably my most disappointing calls for Riccaboni this week during the pay-per-view. It just seemed like he was out of it a little bit. I give him a slight pass on the Priest Garcia match because that literally could have been thrown together at the last minute. I think everybody would be happy with a smaller show and let matches go along, but the thing is, we all know that Tony Khan is not going to make this a smaller show. That Sabu little spots. All right, so for those that aren't familiar, you had in that match without honor between Action Andretti and Leo Rush. Leo Rush completed a 1 in a million shot. He did the throwing of the chair at Andretti in the corner. And the chair literally stood on end in between the middle and bottom rope. It literally stood there. Nobody moved it. Nobody touched it. It literally hit him and then stuck there. And we all were just literally freaking out. I was watching the socials and yeah, like everybody's like, what the hell is this? Didn't watch ROH, but saw that this morning. Yeah, I recommend if you got $10, buy the pay-per-view. Because I honestly feel that show is definitely worth the $10. Oh, I love how the trash talk is coming up now. Oh, and some other news that just came up. And I find it funny that everybody's trying to make it it's a big nothing burger, but it ends up being something. I guess TKO execs were in for the Vegas AEW show this week. Or last week, sorry. Which makes sense because the TKO head offices are in Vegas and they probably wanted to see what a real promotion runs like, but now he's got the guillotine hooked. You gotta love the fact that this has been a very comedic match to start, but they do know how to take it up another gear when they need to, right? So Shivani's got classic move, while Vince McMahon had what a maneuver. Sidebar, I started watching the ROH TV show from last week. When the hell did So, a couple weeks ago, and they're actually running segments now. I'll get to that. A couple weeks ago, the frat house actually kicked out Preston Vance and started beating him down. And Evil Uno came out there for the save. And Alex Reynolds. But right now, the story is that John Silver and Preston Vance are not getting along because of what Preston Vance did to him and to -1. Little Brody Jr. So they had a little bit of a talk about that during the pay-per-view as well. They had a segment where literally Preston and Silver almost got to blows. There's been a lot of talk about the Dark Order getting a little bit more involved. He can't stomp him. He doesn't have the killer instinct on him. Oh. He's like, nope, that's enough of this. Let's go. We're done. Immediately, let's go. Oh, this is going to be a fun Final Four, folks. It's going to be interesting to see where we go with this. Kyle, Claudio, Mox, and... Or sorry, it's Kyle, Nigel, Mox. Then either it's going to be Claudio or Garcia. I'd have to think it'd be Claudio. Do they pull a Mile World on Daniel Garcia? I don't know if lightning can strike twice on that. I would love to see him heat up Dark Order a little bit. They still get good pops whenever they're on TV. And the Pendulum Bomb's one of the coolest trios. Absolutely. I do feel that the Dark Order will get a little bit of a push. If you haven't seen Alex Reynolds on X, and I do believe on Blue Skies, or Instagram, sorry. He literally is just posting a picture of the trio's titles every day. Same way Brody did with the number, with the, you know it's Monday, you know what time it is? You know it's Tuesday, you know what time it is? Oh, I like this. I love this. This is really, this might be the main story of what we're going to get during All In. It's the story of self-doubt. You got self-doubt in Nigel. You got self-doubt in Will. Nigel is physical. Will is mental. And it's a hell of a story you can tell here as we go through this. I wonder how many people are going to be inspired by Will going forward in terms of becoming I know Andre C is a big wrestling fan of Will Ospreay. But I just wonder how many wrestlers will come up and say someday that they watched Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay, and that inspired them to get into wrestling. Shivani, get the goddamn mic on your face. Jesus. Granted, on Wednesday, I ended up muting myself for the first part of the second half. So I know the feeling there, but... I really wonder if they're going to give up the Divine Dominion yet to for their titles here. By the way, I do hope the jersey comes in before All In. Well, folks, I hope you got your Viagra ready because we got the last 5 minutes here with the champs. I guess I should throw that in there, or better yet, no, we'll use this one for that. You got to last 5 minutes. That's what we got here. We got a 5-minute challenge. But it also makes you wonder who's going to be coming out to the ring for this. Or do they have already in the ring people available? Oh, I see Yuke's gone. I'm sure he got free tickets. Okay, thanks for coming out. Yeah, no, this is going to last maybe 2-3 minutes tops. By the way, speaking of a 5-minute challenge, after our Showcase Showdown here for the next couple weeks on our Wednesday night shows. Thank you for the hydrates. Tonight the flavor is called Sweet Six Pack from Gamer Subs. Essentially, it's their fruit punch. I actually got to order some more because pretty much out of everything right now. I'm just getting down to my last few. Waiting for my new shakers to come in. Oh, Riccaboni, it's Lena. Get it straight here. She might kill you if you don't get it right. Literally. All right, this might last a minute. Nice setup, huh? Yeah. We try. Oh, they're doing the meet in the middle first. Okay. Oh, 2 birds, 1 stoned. Except Lena couldn't do it right. The entranceway for AEW. Yeah. Sorry, I just don't. That's the normal way they've been doing it now. I really love the Divine Dominion, the new entrance that they're doing now. But I do like the fact that the audio guy figured it out, that he had to cut out the early part. No, the collision, it depends on the size of the building styles. I guess I should correct myself really quick. By the way, good to see you here tonight. I always appreciate you. If they have a venue that's big enough to have this, they put it in. The thing is, the last months, they really haven't run a building this big. But this is considered a rather big show. It is the last show before they head overseas. Because you could see, like, the way, even just the angle as you're going out, the venue's pretty big compared to what they normally use. I believe it's the Reading Coliseum. I thought Perry was going to say he respects Swerve because he's another one of those guys who went after Punk. Uh-oh, here we go. This went to SmackDown last week. Seems better back in the day. Well, Styles, it sounded like I mentioned here earlier tonight. There's actually a WWE house show here in Edmonton tonight. But they do dark matches after the show. They've always done dark matches after the show, depending on what time they're finished. Now we're getting Swerve and Perry on. Okay. Could you imagine if the Elite come out to help Perry and somebody else shows up to help out Swerve? It wouldn't surprise you if they do the Glasgow thing with Creed and Kofi. Not 25 years. Actually, this would have been, I remember 2000, would have been 2009 when they were doing the, after SmackDown when they taped it, we ended up getting a Punk versus Hardy cage match back when they were going through their feud. We actually got an off-air, close the night off with a cage match. It was the first one so they could learn what to do before they were actually doing it on TV. So, and he just turned 40. Oh, okay. Well, I'm turning 48 in just over a month. So that's why I remember a lot of these older things. And I'll be honest, like I said, tonight is the first time I think since, hell, it would have been Attitude Era. Thank you. Appreciate it. Actually, my birthday's the night of All Out, the pay-per-view. And Worlds Collide if you're a AAA fan. AAA NXT fan. So we'll definitely be here hanging out for that. But I think the last time I missed a show here in Edmonton for WWE would have been, Ruthless or Attitude Era. Like turn of the century kind of thing. But literally, like I was mentioning earlier tonight, like justifying paying twice the amount I'm going to pay next Sunday for the pay-per-view for a nosebleed seat. Yeah, no, that ain't happening. So, like I said, I'm very glad and very happy to sit with all of you here and watch a lot of good wrestling here tonight. SmackDown was I wouldn't surprise me in the least. Like cost of tickets right now, yes, everything's going up in cost. I feel that we're getting a lot of targeted pricing that's a little bit higher than it should be all the way around. So, oh, you were doing Loge? Yeah, I think Loge, my boss had Loge available for him. If you guys, I don't want to get into too many specifics, but my quote-unquote shoot job, as the wrestling term is, my real job, they actually sponsor the Edmonton Oilers and Rogers Arena. So we actually what's called a theater box. It's a mini box. It's not like, they basically have 6 seats lined up in a special section for you. It's all laid out. The reason I'm getting to this is because where the setup is, it's literally behind the curtain, so we wouldn't be able to use it. So we were offered Loge seating. And apparently the cost of Loge seating was like $150, $200. Wore a neon pink Bret Hart pink shirt. Yeah. You know what? Enjoy your fandom. I appreciate the Bret Hart. I know I yeah, but you know. I wonder if they actually do a Steve Borden promo here. Could you imagine them firing it out? Stuck out like a sore thumb. Ha!
Bruh.
He's not holding back. He's going to show up. We all know that. The only thing I hope is they don't do a pre-draw for the semifinals. I would love that extra anticipation of not knowing who you're going to face in the semis. So Garcia's going to be hurting like hell right now after getting the crap beaten out of him by Adam Priest last night. And Claudio's on the other side of the room, so... So, frankly, we're going to get 2 Death Riders in the semi regardless. I could just imagine half the crowd be like, where the hell did this guy come from? I really wish they would have showed the whole promo before this match. I do feel that Garcia will get his time. It's just I don't think the time of the veterans is up yet. You love them so much, the fact you didn't even know they were there originally. Ha! Now, this will be a fun match regardless. Japan getting no views on YouTube? Which Japan are you talking about, Styles? Some of the Stardom matches and whatnot, or... Do you listen to Hannah? Nah. I'm not even familiar with Hannibal, to be honest with you. I know there's a lot of things going on right now, but... Oh, new and old Japan, okay. Yeah, no, I know myself personally, I just don't have time to look at all that. Oh, look at this view. Where literally Garcia's a... Oh, legend from... Okay, yeah, I think I remember the name. You got to remember, like, I used to... Well, Mark, like, yeah, fair enough. You got to remember, I used to work quite frequently for, well, the better part of 4 years with Phil LaFon, so... As part of one of the promotions I worked with, and PJC knows all about that, so... Claudio's the man who is most famous for end up finishing second in every damn tournament he's in. Yeah, Phil LaFon, he worked. I don't know if he still lives in Edmonton. Honestly, Monster Pro, I haven't really watched a whole lot or gone to a show since. I miss my days, yeah. I haven't really, since the pandemic started, the promotion's changed so many different ways. But this is going to be interesting to see how this match goes, because, like, in our opening contest, we had 2 faces go at it that are stablemates. Now we got 2 heels that are stablemates that are going to try and go at it. The only difference is I think Claudio's like the purest form of a heel right now. He is like, he really wants to beat the living piss out of everybody. He doesn't care, partner, opponent. This crowd is all over Claudio tonight. This also could be the Nick Wayne story from last night. If you got a chance to watch the ROH World Title match, it basically came down to. Forgive me, chat. Work's bothering me. The fact that I turn to people and say that they're in front of 400 people, they aren't, but, let's just theoretically go that way. Yeah, they seem to get off the phone rather quick because, my time, not your time. Piss off. Quick pins, I love. You know what? That's what, honor amongst thieves, right? Now, Claudio's absolutely destroying Garcia. And DLW, good to see good to see everybody here tonight piling in. It's always great to see everybody piling in here, enjoying some wrestling. Are we actually going to get the picture-in-picture this time? That's the question. Somebody in the booking office needs to get this stuff straightened out. Which, by the way, everybody, reminder, we will be here on Sunday next Sunday for All In. Pre-show starts, I do believe, at 11:30 Eastern, so watching on delay just cut. Hey, you know what, DLW? I appreciate you coming in. I know Saturdays it's interesting. I know a lot of people were. I was watching this, Steve from Steven Larson, his channel. He was talking about 10 things he hates about wrestling. He was talking about all these late start times for pay-per-views, and I'm like, no, with all due respect, there's people that have worked weekends for years, and a lot of your fans do, so you can't start early all the time. So I respect the late starts. I understand that you might not be done till midnight, but also you got to remember, you got to respect your clientele too, right? And not just the ones that work the regular 9 to 5. Have that video in my queue to. Hey, you know what? I got so many videos in my queue to watch right now. It's insane. But no, I really like that. I also, one thing I've been doing a lot lately is checking out a lot of the videos of new wrestling fans. Like doing this gets you really jaded at times, right? Like sometimes you expect certain things to happen because they've always happened or they always will happen, and you really need to learn a little bit more perspective about what new people are there. Like I was telling you guys about Deporticus a lot, right? Deporticus is one of my favorite new streamers. He's been with AEW. I think he started watching in 2023. And now just recently, there's another one called Smidgen. Smidgen. She's got her YouTube channel going, and she's throwing some commentary out about... She's watching a lot of the how-to videos about AEW. I say how-to in a general sense. More like looking at some of these videos showing the history of AEW, like why you need to be involved in AEW and whatnot. And I really do appreciate a new fan's insight into everything and some of the stuff that we might take for granted here as people that have watched for a very long time. That's why when I tell everybody in here, like, there is no such thing as a stupid question. Like, I know PJC asked earlier, how in the world did Preston Vance get back in the Dark Order? If you're not watching ROH on a certain week, you wouldn't know what was going on with that, right? So, the fact that the frat house kicked him out and the Dark Order made the save. And now there's a fight between Johnny Hungy and Preston Vance over whether he's in the Dark Order or not. Is Garcia actually going to try and dance? If you're not watching ROH, you don't even see Dark Order. Well, or Maple Leaf Pro. You got to remember, Maple Leaf Pro, Evil Uno just had a hell of a match with Rohan Raju. And I do believe he had another match the week after. I'm still 1 week behind on Maple Leaf Pro. But you also got to remember, Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, best indie name in the world for a tag team. Super Smash Brothers. And when they call their finisher the Fatality, you know I'm backing those guys up. Oh my fucking God. I think that's the first time he's danced in forever. I don't think Garcia's... When's the last time we've seen Garcia dance? It's got to be a while. He hasn't danced as a Death Rider, so it's been about 10, 11 months. Yeah. We'll try a couple of years, isn't it? Like, he became a Death Rider just after... What was it? Just after Moxley won the title? Oh, he literally said, fuck you, I ain't going to worry about it. I'm just going to step over you instead of around you. Just a heads up, we do have an ad break coming up in about 2 minutes here for Twitch. It's just after Moxley. I thought Garcia was in there before he lost the title. Because he was, oh no, that's right. Yuta was always the cannon fodder. That's right. See, you guys are helping me out too, so many facts whistling through the brain here, and you know when it's a big chasm in the middle, you can lose things rather easily, right? Garcia ain't giving up that easy. Claudio's fading. Oh, God, literally. Even though his head's purple, he didn't get a full set of swings on it, but at least he got enough to get a little bit of space. He's got to be trusting his strength right there just to get through that. Remember Garcia being so over as a babyface ECW residency in September, only from the... That's right, yeah. Oh, he absolutely feels like he's lost momentum. He feels like it's been one of those... He's a stooge for the... He's not Yuta levels a stooge right now, but he's still a stooge. For the most part. Oh, there's a little trash talk. I would not want to... the injured ankle from yesterday. He was facing Priest and Priest just absolutely obliterated that leg. But yeah, in terms of Garcia's momentum, like a match like this will do a lot for him, but we're going to need to get him to like literally don't try that with Claudio. Don't try a power move on Claudio. It's just not a very smart move to do. Here's the funny part about tonight. Oh, God. Garcia literally let him sucker him into that. Garcia's insistent on hitting that Gotch pile driver. The neutralizer, holy shit. Is he going to beat him? There's no way Claudio loses to his own move. There is no way Claudio loses to his own move. No, I got a feeling that was the best call for Garcia right now, but good night. Okay, I see you. You're still awake. Sharpshooter! Shout out to Tyson Kidd. TJ Wilson, Tyson Kidd, whichever you want to call it, his tag partner. His ankle's already broken on that foot. With the bad leg on top of it. Just a European uppercut. Okay, I see you, Garcia. He's got heart. Does he have brains? Well, maybe not, but he's got heart. By the way, this is why I love you guys so much here. We can be talking about literally anything, but when the matches start kicking into high gear like they are here, this is pretty awesome the way things are working here. Oh, you want to slap him? Ricola bomb! Now he hit the ankle lock on top of it. Great match for Garcia there. Great match for Claudio. That was a battle. That was a battle. They're not even, they have such a great opportunity here to leave this Don't let it simmer. Let all the possibilities simmer about this. No, they're going to announce it right after the break. Ah! I love TK. I love his ideas, but my God. Let this stuff simmer, because you could literally write promos about all four of these guys going at each other. I just find it funny. Now, tonight we're getting... this is basically a plot filler match as our main event tonight, which... I'm sorry, that's a little rough if you ask me. So, we're going to get the Hurt Syndicate and Lee Moriarty in action here. We still got Nick Wayne and Tommaso Ciampa versus Commander and Mike Bailey. And then the main event will be the women's title match, of course. It's either going to be a DQ win for Willow, or it'll be just a straightforward beating. Oh, now they decide to do the graphic. They're trying. They're trying to sell this on me here. Could you imagine the main event of Wembley being Maya World Mercedes Moné? Folks, with all due respect, that ain't selling a ticket. Let's just say you're not generating extra ticket sales based on that match. Ooh. I really do wish they could have pushed this title match earlier. Could have broken up, like, after... What they probably could have done to make this the most effective. That face-to-face they're doing tonight. Someone noticed a plot hole and they're getting it out of the way. I know, and it's just dumb. What I would have done personally myself, you have that sneak attack by Monet 2 weeks ago. So TK literally bans her from the building for the next week. And to me, that would make the most sense. Then last week, you go, okay, Maya comes out and says, hey, you guaranteed me for the first title shot. What the hell's going on here? I still want my title shot. And of course, Willow's going to say, okay, let's do it. They have that. And then the face-to-face that they're having right now could have been next week in Glasgow, and you have the pull apart there. Because really, are you going to sell anything more about this match between Willow and Mercedes? I honestly don't think there's that much more. Should have been immediate, maybe on the first collision. I agree. Like, don't get me wrong. They screwed this up way earlier. But if you're going to do it at this point, back it up and just do it just get it out of the way as soon as you can, because it's sort of like, now you're also holding up the TBS title, and I almost think you're not going to see the TBS title up for grabs at Wembley. And the fact that they haven't booked any non-title matches for the card sort of speaks to me a little bit more about how we don't have anything, we don't have anything for that TBS title. For the women's right now, we have the tag title match and we have the women's world championship. Now they got to find some way to dig in, possibly dig in for a little bit more of a, maybe they're going to do a Casino Gauntlet for the women. They could announce that tonight for all I know. But we need something. Would have been better if they left the plot hole. It could make Maya hold a legit grudge and chink in Willow's character. That's fair. That's another way we could think about it. Absolutely. And I completely agree with you, Zodiac. Like, there's many different ways to skin a cat on this one. Told you guys, I called this 2 weeks ago. Me. Me. Let's get coins. Let's get the... Let's just, I called this weeks ago, these semifinals. Because we're going to get McGuinness and a Moxley, and that's going to be McGuinness's final match. All right, we might actually get an actual non-title match with this one. But then we also have that trios conundrum that's going to be going on. But Claudio Moxley's going to feed families, folks. This is a match we've been waiting to see for how long now? I think, what, a better part of 2 years now that we've been looking for this match? All right, well, the dogs are in for the trios title. Oh, here we go. Murder time. Murder time. We hurt people. We hurt people for a price. We hurt people. We hurt people for a price. We hurt people. I wonder how much money they've rented for, like, realistically. The Hurt Syndicate should walk out on Moriarty here. What a hell of a match between him and Shibata last night. Speaking of momentum being... yeah, well... Well, O'Neal, Nolan, and Mako are definitely going to have a lot of momentum lost. Well, the Hurt Syndicate, like, what do you do with them right now if you don't want to put them in the... You don't want to put them in the title picture because look who the champions are right now. Do we want Benjamin and Lashley versus Cope and Christian right now? We got the Bucks there. Let's let that run through. And FTR is going to come back at some time. I'm almost expecting them to randomly show up at All In. Now here's a question for you. What if FTR shows up in the Trios title match? If they have a surprise partner for them. Like, Dax is still going out doing interviews and whatnot, supporting AEW and promoting All In. And they do have, I do believe they have a Progress title. I don't know if they have a Progress title match or they have just a match at Progress coming up the day before All In. Oh, shit. All right, folks, let me make a readjustment here. Pre-show next Sunday will start at 11 a.m. Eastern. God damn it, I got to be up at 6. I'm going to have to be up at 6 to be ready for 9. Because I got to have my breakfast before we have the show. I don't want to be eating during the pay-per-view. So, yeah, we're getting a 2-hour buy-in, folks. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I think there's going to be a much ado about nothing for the first half hour, but you know what? Just to be safe, because I remember the last time I tried to start a little late on it, we ended up missing oh, God. You killed him. He killed him. He killed the poor boy. And they're like, yeah, we're paid. We're done. And Moriarty almost scorpions himself. Or Sasha Banks himself there on the ropes. Wouldn't even fucking tap out the... Oh my God. You tap out. You don't pass out from that thing. Jesus. I love this gimmick right now with the Hurt Syndicate. I know it's a momentum killer. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, he literally goes around and like, all right, time's up. Time to go. Nigel probably would have beat him if that match name, well, it wasn't supposed to. Oh, here, but the background, if you didn't know DLW, it was a couple weeks ago on Collision here. Shane Taylor Promotions actually paid the Hurt Syndicate a certain amount for their protection or their certain skills. But if you were around last week, well, we're getting a bonus match, folks. Last week, the Hurt Syndicate literally left halfway through an 8-man tag because the amount they got paid is a certain rate for a certain amount of time. And they're doing it again. Well, the guns look ready to go. Also, it's going to be Jay White and the Guns versus Shane Taylor Promotions. Okay, I can take that. You want to talk about people that got derailed as we see Jay White come in. Had a hell of a match with Moxley last week, don't get me wrong. But I do feel that White's going to be part of that next generation where, like, right now we got the Kenny Omegas, the Kazuchika Okadas, the older, like, yes, I understand they're not that old, but the number of years they've been in the business. By the way, for those that are optimistic about Ring of Honor in terms of getting views of different wrestlers, Tony Khan did hint that there might be some other ways to see Ring of Honor very soon. And it has been well known that, or it's just been revealed, sorry, I guess a better way to put it, that Ring of Honor was originally part of the WB deal. They were going to be put on pretty much in the Rampage spot right after SmackDown on Fridays, like the 10 p.m. Eastern spot. However, the money that WB offered wasn't what Tony Khan wanted. So he offered to keep that off the contract right now, but leaving it on the table for later. I got a weird feeling that I think TK's realizing he's not going to get a better deal anywhere else. So if it comes up. Well, hey, Isaac. Yeah, I think that's pretty much where we're headed. I've said it, and we've been talking about it for a few weeks here. I feel this whole C3 has been a way to give Nigel a retirement match against Mox. And TK is a sucker for New Japan Wrestling. Oh, yeah, Mox retains, absolutely. I literally think this will be Nigel's last match in pro wrestling. He wants to have his final match in front of, well, right now they're set up for 45,000 people. So for me, I think it's an I don't want to say obvious, but it would be nice to see, Nigel getting a title on his way out, but because let's face it, he's on the back half of his career. Do you honestly think, oh my God, he actually thought he was going to hip toss Shane Taylor? Like, I swear to God, he's got a cement mixer for hips. How are you going to flip that? Ugh. But yeah, Isaac, I think that's, I think since we started, we've been talking about this. I've been talking about this finish. I thought these semifinals would be exactly the way they are as well. Like, you're going to have, it's going to be a feel-good spot. Kyle O'Reilly can play that intense, not necessarily being heel, but that intense wrestler that wants to push Nigel to his limits. And Mox and Claudio is going to feed families on Wednesday. Let's just call a spade here. And before I forget, thank you for being here tonight. I always appreciate it, along with everybody else who's popping in here, whether you've been lurking or chatting as we go. Think there had been a chance that Eddie Kingston would have won tonight if he was cleared? No. With all due respect, DLW, watching Eddie Kingston, and PJC and I were talking about this during the pre-show here. Eddie Kingston, ever since he's come back from his injury, it feels like he's been fighting. He's been fighting to get back earlier than he should, and absolutely, it does feel like the rematch of the first ever C2 final would be an absolute gem to have as a semifinal here for the C3. However, Eddie just doesn't look right. Like, even in his ROH matches as he's been going through, he just isn't looking right. He needs to get himself back in better, like, it almost feels like he rushed himself too soon and the body just said, no, we ain't playing that. The whole term is for Mox to have a stronger ring. Isaac, here's my call, and I called this earlier tonight. And chat, feel free to disrepute or agree with me on this. Mox comes out for a promo the Wednesday after Wembley and says that he wants... He's been taking this title. He's been going through everybody. He's gone through this big tournament where everything's been going absolutely insane. He's taken on every challenger and beaten them, and I'm trying to push things to a new level. Give me somebody who will give me a challenge. My dream scenario for that would be a New Japan Pro Wrestling logo coming up on the screen, fading to the words Ilya Dragunov. I want Ilya in New Japan because I think he would be an absolute killer there. But working in New Japan means he can also take the opportunity to work AEW matches. Ilya versus Mox, even if you do a title change there. Ilya Mox would be an unreal match. I honestly feel that you do that match. Oh my, that's some words there. Your seats are getting absolutely like, and it's the fact that you can literally have anybody coming from anywhere, right? Like, don't forget, we have the Motor City Machine Guns locked and loaded for, I'm assuming, after Wembley. This whole tournament was first mentioned by Mox when he sent in a promo. There's a lot of talk about the Continental Cup. Literally, no one knew what the Continental Cup was when he said it. TK knew, and that's what mattered. For those that don't know, they do a New Japan Cup every year, which is the exact same thing as what they're doing here. It's literally a blind tournament that they do. Where's Kofi? So, my opinion, Swerve is mentioning enough that he's going to be in that trios title match with Hangman and Brodito. I think he's the tag partner. I think they're the tag partners of Swerve. It's pretty much been implied that they had partners, and he's been using the word "who" a lot. Yes, I know. Couldn't Swerve's teammate? It wouldn't be horrible. No, it's an open challenge. Isaac, it's basically they said anybody wants a shot at these titles, meet us at the Arch at dawn. So nobody really knows what that means. Well, no, the Dogs accepted. He said any team. So it's going to be a multi-team match. Like, there's a potential this could be a Stadium Stampede elimination match. No, like, there's no graphic for it. Like, there's more than one team. Like, we got the Demand who are going to be in there. But yeah, it's going to be a multiple. They're just announcing that they're going to be there. Like, I'm thinking somewhat Stadium Stampede style. Well, so much for the Vader Bomb. But yeah, no, it's been confirmed that the Dogs are going to be a part of it. And we don't know, will this Claudio Mox match put cracks in the Death Riders? I think there already are. I think this might actually be the first set of seeds that we get that a little more public. Because I know for a lot of the stuff that, a lot of decisions that Mox has been making for the group, there has been a little bit of dissension here and there for it. 310 the Yuma on Shane Taylor? Let's go. It also means you're oh no, never mind. My bad. Blade Runner! Oh, guess what? Nobody's ever kicked out of that. What Claudio did to Garcia? I wouldn't expect anything less. I really wouldn't. And like I said, both matches in the C3 this week, two stablemates going at it. They probably gonna. No, I don't think they will. There's a sign of respect there that, you know, they're gonna do everything they can to. By the way, here's where the Guns announced they're going to be part of this trios title match. By the way, this looks like a pretty good trio if you ask me. John Moxley. So their whole roster. Tony Khan, Excalibur, and Tony Schiavone.
No, 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 no! No, please! No!
Those stars got the best of me after I told the gang to take the week off in order to honor Continental Cup rules. How silly of me. But that brings us to the other Cowboys in this equation. Brodino!
All right, yep. They're declaring for the trios titles as well. This makes sense. Tony Storm. Oh God, I didn't think of that. Nice pickup, DLW. Very nice pickup there.
The bad and the hangman. I appreciate the assist, but I do not need your help. Not now, not ever, never be.
The good, the bad, and the hangman.
You're wearing that don't really belong to you, do they? Oh. You see, the three of us, we never lost them. We were never beaten going into All In. Last time, and speaking of former champions, David and the Dogs, I know it stings you that you never got them back, and you wanting them makes us want them that much more. So, Hanger, what did you call it? What did you liken this trios championship predicament to? What was it? Oh, the Wild West. Well, that's perfect. Hanger, you want to shoot the Dogs and David. You want to shoot the man, Swerve, and anybody else. You want to shoot, that's fine, because we'll knock them all down. We're the Collision Cowboys. We're the Bang Bang Gang, and we're coming for the gold.
Now, do we get a turmoil? Like, TK's got to answer what the hell we're doing here.
In AEW has never been better. Time to bomb up and down. And they're going to extend the ovation, no doubt about it.
So,
If you ain't down with that, me, my pants, the guns are ready. We got two words for you. Guns up!
I think the audio guy was supposed to play the music right after that before the cutout. The crowd didn't pop the way they thought it would. Like, TK's really got to explain what we're doing. If we're going to do tag team turmoil, I would not mind that one bit. Unfortunately, they're stealing my idea for Showcase Showdown. Hashtag spoiler, I'll explain that tonight. I assume they're in the match.
Congratulations to you. You are one step closer to your Wembley dream, and it is official. You'll be taking on Nigel McGuinness in Scotland. Talk to me about how you've been feeling these last few weeks.
I knew this tournament was going to test me, okay? And what happens, I draw my two best friends in the opening rounds. This tournament is mine for the taking.
Need the triple threat we all want. We're probably going to get like 6 teams involved.
Speaking of friends and Wembley dreams, the first
Pierce Aldous Khan.
watching from my couch next. Next year around the Casino Gauntlet, but this year, I'm looking forward to walking in as champ. Into my world. We may be friendly. I may respect you. I may think the world of your future. But nothing is stopping me from my
This is going to be big here.
stopping me from getting to
Conglomeration team for the trios. Yeah, they can't really announce anything about this conglomeration team. If they want to do these 3 in the they can't announce it until after they actually have the Continental match, right? So this is the frustrating part about running a tournament so close to the pay-per-view. Like, how's the best Death Riders? Well, you'll probably get like a Garcia, Yuta, maybe Claudio. Oh, probably Pac. I would say Pac would probably be the one there. And Claudio would probably be in the Casino Gauntlet. One of the two is going to be in one, one's going to be in the other. So that's probably where we're going to end up there. But this is the problem we have with running a tournament so close to the PLE. Like, for those that were, I know I'm talking about an E-Fed here, but hear me out. If you guys notice with Backbreaker Pro, Plot Claudio Yuta won the trios titles at Wembley. Well, there you go. There's your history. But if you check out Backbreaker Pro, the E-Fed that I do, you'll notice that the semifinals, between the semifinals and the finals, that usually go on during a PLE, I'll usually leave like a week or so in between. Yeah, those are the BCC days. I had to wonder there for a second because I thought you might have been Zodiac talking about the BBW days, which that's a whole different ball of wax amongst itself. So, you leave yourself a week or so in between. Not only can you hype up the final, but you can also book some other matches involving the other ones, right? Yeah, the very, very end of it. There was 2 months in between? Because the end of the BCC would have been when Danielson lost the title and essentially got choked out of the business. But yeah, just came Death Riders during the reign. Yuta was the first one, was reluctant. Then it was Garcia, and then it moved into, because Yuta tried pulling the plastic bag it all out. Basically, was the game changer there. But how Yuta was trying to use Ospreay to take out Omega there. Like, remember when Yuta hugged Ospreay to try and hide him from letting Claudio stomp on the neck, right? Don't count Ospreay as a Death Rider. You never know. I've seen stranger things happen. Are we showing this another promo on this same match? This is the promo for people that have no idea what AEW is all about. Oh my God, PWG highlights. My God, let's go. We just got to win, folks. They should have just done MJF Andrade. I'm not going to argue with you on that one because I felt that match was being lined up. But now they're going to use that they can hold that off for later, right? Like, you got to remember, 3 weeks after All In is All Out. And they need an absolute star-studded, absolutely stacked to the gills, no matter what, stupidly good pay-per-view for my birthday. Don't forget it, folks. It is my birthday. Make sure you're here for it. You know it's bad when I'm knocking my mic for it, right? Main event, Moxley Ospreay. You never know, right? Kyle O'Reilly versus Nigel from 10 years ago would have been match of the year. Absolutely. And even here, I do think it's going to be a decent match. And I do think that Scottish crowd is going to help it out a lot. I honestly think the Glasgow audience is going to do a lot for this card. The same way that Mexico did for Grand Slam there. Both guys have lost a step, absolutely. But I think you gain that step back with the way the crowd is. I love this absolute top to bottom run through this. How long do you think you hold off Fletcher Osprey? You can go for a while here. Because here's the question. Do you take the title off Fletcher at All In? Do you put it back on Okada? My answer to that, I believe, is yes. Do you think put it back on Takeshita? What I think the moment of the match, at that match coming up, is literally going to be Kyle having to honestly decide between Okada and Takeshita where he could destroy one or the other. And that is going to be the secular moment of that match. And I think Fletcher is going to pick Takeshita. And it's going to cost him the international title back to Okada. We can all agree, I can't. Honestly, Isaac. I can't. That one, honestly, to me is a toss-up. I understand where the logic is between both guys winning the title or winning the match there. Maybe Speedball turns heel. I don't know what it is. I'm not high on Kevin. I understand. It's just the fact that he is so new to the space age, as we call it, as a space race or whatnot. But here's the thing. One thing that always happens when it comes to a title reign that really solidifies it is when a wrestler beats another wrestler in their stipulated match to remain champion. And that very well could be what we end up here with. We could get Kevin Knight winning kind of like me and Zodiac in terms of Garcia. Yeah, that's fair. Like, there's some wrestlers that you just don't think will get anywhere. Shawn Michaels, eat your heart out with this gear here. He's a sexy boy. Literally, he is a boy, so. If you guys haven't had the opportunity, and I'm going to say this again while he's here. If you got $10, pick up ROH even for 1 month and check out the pay-per-view from last night, the PLE from last night. Nick Wayne, Bandito. We're talking about matches that'll feed families. That match will feed a family. That Nick Wayne stepped up to an absolute amazing level. And you feel bad for Dom. Dom's getting over in AAA. It looks worse on WWE than it does on Dom. And Jay Lethal is now officially a Grand Slam champion down there. Dom losing to El Grande in September. I haven't watched enough to understand one way or the other. Kevin Knight shouldn't be in the Don Callis family. Lost in the shuffle. He was better in a position before he turned heel. Even the main event world. I think that's the story they want to go with DLW, to be perfectly honest. The fact that he is champion, Callis brings him in. So here's the thing. Don Callis wants gold, and he brought in somebody with a gold. And once Kevin Knight loses that gold, he's more than likely going to be circumvented from the family. And Eric, we don't hate people for their theories here. We don't worry about hot takes. To me, this is everybody sitting at a bar having a drink watching a show. It just depends if you're drinking Coke or you're drinking something a little stiffer than that. But feel free to throw it out there. That's fine. At least the Bloodline or Shoot family. That's fair. I'll give you a coin for that. And I don't think it's like the Bloodline story because to me it really does feel like the Heenan family from the 80s. I know a lot of you guys weren't around. Guys and girls weren't around when the Heenan family was in full action against Hulk Hogan. Claudio wins the casino, comes out for the main event. Will Mox wins a hit, couple of death throws. Claudio gives him the contract. Moxley walks out with the belt, so I've been quiet out of Will's business saying, that's fair.
And the winner, of course, will call their shot for an AEW World Title match, provided they give the champ a week's notice. And here we go with Speedball Mike Bailey.
That's the one problem, though, Isaac. And Tony brought it up. There is a new rule with the Casino Gauntlet contract. You cannot cash it in like Money in the Bank anymore. You have to give a week's notice. I love your idea. I love the fact get that back on the Death Rider somehow. But also Moxley's got that Continental title, and I think it's not changing hands for a little bit. Give me a hot take. I won't hate you unless you tell me your least favorite college professor wins a match. Yeah, we don't hate people's theories. So true. I'd be banned. Yeah, well, all I ask is if you have a theory. One rule we have in this channel, and this is going back to the last time I banned a guy. I think it was, hell, I haven't banned anybody that's not a bot in like. They changed the rule because MJF kept using it as a crutch. Kayfabe-wise, they changed that rule. So basically, that's when MJF had to go to Page and tell him when he was cashing it in. So, yeah, they've changed that rule. In reality, they probably want to change it for Money in the Bank because they don't want the same thing. The last time I banned somebody on this channel was literally just because they came in. I think it was Double or Nothing 2023. What is considered? What about Austin Theory? Oh, good.
Time out.
You told some of the biggest lies that I've ever heard of
What
in
else can
my
I throw
whole
out here?
life.
You're not getting a rim shot for that. No frickin' way. That stunk. It's funny, but it stunk. Dad joke. What? What about Drew McIntyre? What about Drew McIntyre? He's off filming a Highlander movie right now. Either that or it's just wrapping up, one or the other. His terrible Money in the Bank run? Yeah, like honestly, MJF had a horrible one, as well as WWE doesn't know what to do with the Money in the Bank briefcase. AEW does, they just don't know the right way to use it. For lack of a better term there, so. Honestly, the most obvious pick, forgot about the MJF one. How could you not forget? I think KO, Sammy, and Punk have a triple threat, and KO wins. I'll tell you right now where the end game for this is. It's going to be Sami Zayn defeating Kevin Owens at WrestleMania Saudi. I don't know how we get there because I haven't watched enough SmackDown or Raw to get there, but we're getting KO Mania against Sammy, and Sammy's going to win the title there, so. Triple H definitely doesn't like Money in the Bank. I think the fix to alternate years with men's and women's. No, I don't know if you do that. I just think you don't need well, I think they've gone down to 2 briefcases. You just need to book it right. No, you can book 2 with 2 different stories. It's not the worst thing in the world. Then Drew will break his dreams and defeat him for the 18th time. Fair. Disagree. You did the big Sammy win and they did the little Sammy win. They did the house show pop. There's a difference, Nats. And you know what? If you're right, I will give you all the gold in the world and all the praise in the world. But for me, that was a house show pop. That's the equivalent to Bret Hart winning the title in Saskatoon over Ric Flair with no cameras around. And then he lost the title on the next night. You think Oba wins the belt from Braun at next Mania? Maybe. Do you really trust WWE to tell 2 stories? I don't trust them to tell 1 story. May I present Blake Monroe to the witness stand, please? You think Braun's win? Hey, you know what? If he does, all the power to him. I'd love to see it. The fact he's been stalled for so long. But who do you got for the Casino Gauntlet? Let's switch it back to AEW here for a sec. Think Logan Paul is Money in the Bank? Maybe. Be a scary guy with a brief. Absolutely, it would. I think Braun would be great for that. Claudio, and he gives it to Marina Shafir. That's fair. I'm tired of Marina eating pins like she did last night again. I'll be straight up and honest with you. My pick, well, the obvious one's MJF, right? Like, that's what we all think is going to happen. Let me throw one out for you, folks. And this will be a wild one. Yeah, go ahead, Nats. Samoa Joe, I would love that. If Samoa Joe came back and got that, if Adam Cole came back, here's my home run song.
Swing and a drive.
Oh no, wrong one. Here's the wind chime for MLB for me. I think it's going to be easy to find out if it's true or not. The way you want to find out if Adam Cole shows up, just see if he's streaming a couple days before. Because they're not going to fly him out the Friday of All In just to get him in there if he's streaming at home. The Kenny Will feud involving both their history with Don Callis. Is there a Don Callis family that could win the gauntlet? Brian Cage. Honestly, here's my idea. I know it's a little wild. If we want to go really off the board, honestly, for me, Joe would be my favorite pick right now. Thank you for bringing that up. Stephen Farrelly. You want to make a guy seem important right off the bat? By the way, if you have no idea who I'm talking about, he's a fella that used to be named Sheamus. Putting him in Wembley in England, an Irishman in England winning. Holy shit, Xavier Woods is Austin Creed might be winning the trios titles. Because let me throw this scenario out for you. The 3 picks are Joe Hangman and Jay White, yeah. And Nick Wayne kicks out. Damn. Let me throw this idea out for you, folks. All Out. September 26, 2026, Chicago, Illinois. Swerve Strickland. Austin Creed and Kofi. taking on Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. You tell me we don't want to see that match. PWG, exactly. Hanger and Jay will be in the title match. Yeah, well. And Nick Wayne gets the pin. Can we throw Aiden English in the match? No, he's too busy commentating. He's too busy commentating at TNA right now. But no, we need to get the video game. Think he's English because his last name's English? Oh, God. Go ahead, Isaac. Throw her out there. Oh, no, I absolutely love the... Nick Wayne or Bandito? I wouldn't mind it, except for the fact Bandito has the ROH title right now. Why would you throw an extra title there? Do I love it? Would I love to see one of those two get it? Absolutely. But I really don't want... I honestly feel it needs to be a heel. Even though it is a week's notice. And it's... Bailey wins a female... Bailey dub, as we call it. My prediction, MJF wins to continue his beef with Ospreay and Andrade, cost him the match. I think that's the smartest one, Isaac. I think that's the smartest play. I think that's the most obvious play. I think that's where we're probably going to end up here at this case. So, I don't blame you for saying that. I think smart money's on MJF right now, just because he wins these matches all the time. But as we're going into our main event here, I give you a bit of a rundown of what's going to be coming up on the channel over the next few days. And tonight, what a long-ass, boiling-ass day. And hey, we're smoky here too, my friend. Absolutely smoky. All day. Right, I hope you're doing well up there. Main event tonight is Willow Nightingale versus Maya World, and we hope that it's not a disaster. We'll talk about it in a sec here. Let me get the rundown down here. After we're done here tonight, if you're on Twitch, stick around. We're going to have Backbreaker Pro Wrestling tonight. It's going to be, our opening contest is going to be Ophelia Payne and Fanboy Brian taking on the BPW Tag Team Champions. Nick Ontario, Seth Ross, the North American Connection. We're also going to have Mellow Beast with Jay Williams in his corner taking on Game Time Will Jackson. And in our main event tonight, it is going to be the Empress Champion Diamond taking on the powerhouse of the Looks and Loggers, Morgan Cross. If Morgan can defeat Diamond, Vivian Sinclair will get a title match on day 2 of our Showcase Showdown, our specialized Clash of Champions show, coming up over the next 2 Wednesdays here. Tomorrow night, plan is to get on here with a little MLB The Show. We just signed up for the Yankees here as part of Michelle DeReff's career. And we need to get into that regular season. I want to get a little bit into there. I am not banned, unlike a whole bunch of other people from that game. A whole bunch of people received 3-year bans from MLB The Show, including a lot of content creators. So, yeah, we're still around. We're still kicking. So, Monday, Tuesday, TBA as always. And then Wednesday, we will be back here with AEW Dynamite from Glasgow, Scotland. It will be a tape show, so let's not spoil it while we're in here. It's going to be taped earlier in the day. I'll get to it in one sec here. And then following that, we're going to have Backbreaker Pro Wrestling, our first of 2 Showcase Showdowns, our specialized Clash of Champions style mini shows, as we're going to call them here. We are going to get Andre C versus Amanda Reed in a 3 Stages of Hell match. And then for our main event, we are going to have PJC, our BPW World Champion, defending the title against Cloud Chaser. And make sure you check out Backbreaker Pro tonight, as we're going to be letting you know what's going to be going on week 2 of the Showcase Showdown. So, but as always, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the subscribe. If you're watching on Twitch, make sure you hit the follow button as well. Hit the subscribe if you really enjoy what you see, and then you won't have to deal with these ads that just came up here. But no matter what, we appreciate you being here. As we're going to see the Death Riders about to kill. I'll get back to MLB The Show in 1 sec here. I love this. Great promo. Continue on. Folks, I believe the category, what they call that right there, is enough said. You really don't need to say anything to sell that match next week. Wheeler's trying and doesn't need to. But yeah, glad you're getting a chance to do your laundry there, Walker, and great for you popping in here tonight. I appreciate you. DLW for the MLB The Show. Honestly, Isaac, I don't want to say that we're full in favor of women's wrestling here. Maya has gotten better in her last couple matches, but this will be a step up. Like, honestly, the Fatal 4-Way, I don't think it was great for anybody. It was good, it just wasn't great. The 2 matches before that actually looked pretty competent. And yeah, really, after this is our E-Fed, so this is what wraps up the night. So this could necessarily not be a bad thing here. But to answer the question about MLB The Show quickly here, there are third-party sites where you can get basically discount subs. Last match you watched with Sheeta was not bad. The 4-Way was actually pretty decent with these 4. And we've roasted, like, the match between Mercedes and Maya. I'm glad that Meltzer didn't rate it because the internet would have melted. Because as far as I was concerned, the story was a 7. The execution was a 3. And I hope things go well here. But anyway, I keep jumping off the topic here. There are certain third-party sites for MLB The Show that illegally, you give them money and they'll give you discounted tokens by farming the system a little bit too much. And there's actually streamers that have been advertising this stuff. Well, MLB The Show yesterday decided that they're going to use their terms of service and say you're not allowed to use these third parties, and banned a whole ton of people for 3 years. Like if it literally comes up and says you are banned for a combined total of 3 years from this game. Always just open another account and do another one. But yeah, you're banned. So, yeah, a few people are pissed about that game right now. So, but yeah, Nats hasn't stopped raining in 4 days. Well, that's what we got a couple weeks ago. But yeah, this in a way, and let's call a spade here. Kevin Knight, Kenny Omega at Redemption. Does this give the same kind of vibes? Because honestly, this does to me. It feels like All right, we're going to try and put Maya in a different spot, a little higher up on the card. Switching over to Dryer before BPW, yeah. Appreciate you, Walker. No, we'll be good. We'll have to see how much of an overrun we get tonight. I hope we don't get much. And nobody gives a shit about Maya at this point. That's hilarious. Everybody loves Willow. It's funny. It's like it's one of those matches where they know who Willow is, and it doesn't matter who's facing her. They're the bad person. It'd be interesting to see what happens if you put Willow as a heel sometime. Like, I don't know if she can actually become one, but... Hard to give a shit when you know the result. Yeah, like, that's what we're talking about. Same thing with the Kevin Knight, Kenny Omega match, right? Like, we knew that it was going to be, like, what the result was going to be. And we know Kenny's going to try and put on some good matches. The only thing I can say is, what if they do the title switch tonight, and then they do the rematch on Wednesday and switch it back? That's the only thing that could shock this world right now. And basically, I could imagine I could imagine this phone absolutely blowing up if we actually had that happen, where we had a title change and then a title change right back. Oh, God. Yeah. Once again, it's just the fact that we don't have that. When you get up to this world title level, when you get to the when you get to the TBS level, you need to have a certain level of polish, and it just doesn't feel like she has it. They also look like they're wrestling too safe. Understandable, but again, ask the question, why are they doing this? That's why right before a pay-per-view, you will see a lot of multi-person tags, a lot of multi-person matches. Yes, it's interesting. They have a lot to choreograph, but at the same time, you also have to realize that you're not going to get you're not going to be moving around in there as much. You're not going to be involved in every single thing that's going on. And in many ways, you could come up with a lot of screwy finishes to end up a multi-person match right before a pay-per-view, because nobody really cares about these matches. Like, the only matches that really matter right now, like, let's face it, the only matches that really matter on Wednesday are Claudio and Mox and Kyle and Nigel. The rest of them, it's like, all right, let's hurry up and finish this and get to Wembley. Because they're not going to do anything shocking because, well, as I reiterated earlier, both this week's one of those weird ones where Dynamite and Collision are both pre-taped. Because they're doing it in Scotland. They're going to be done earlier in the day. I'm going to avoid spoilers like the plague, but... And just a reminder, we will be here for Collision next Saturday, but we will not be having an episode of Madness going on after. As once again, as I repeat, I need to get some sleep that night. After working a 32-hour shift, I am not going to be in any shape to be ready for what presumably might be an 8-hour PLE or a PPV coming up on Sunday. Realistically, we could be looking at 8 hours, folks. That's a shift at work. Like for most people, 8 hours. And you know the intensity is going to be going all the way through it, right? like last year, I think it went from my time, it would have been 1 to 7. It's 6 hours plus the pre-show, right? Half the shift at most and 3/4 for me, yeah. Oh, we got all our breaks done. It's already the top of the hour. I hope so. But, yeah, no, you got to remember last year, the reason that it was that much longer, it could be because of the card, but it was also the fact that I honestly think TK wanted to fuck with WWE that night. Because remember, that was the night of Goldberg's retirement. That Saturday night's main event. So essentially, All In went into the first hour of Saturday night's main event. So by the time we finished up, it was like, what, almost like my time, it was 7 o'clock, and they started Saturday night's main event at 6. That was the infamous show where they cut off Goldberg's retirement speech after 20 seconds. And just said, well, fuck, I don't care about you. You know, that honestly feels like 3 years ago at this point. Realistically, it feels like forever ago. Area code kick from Maya? Okay. You got to think Mercedes is going to come out and interfere here by the end of this, right? Like, you would think that would probably be the most obvious thing to happen here, but... Oh, God. No, you're dead. See, with both ladies down, this is when I'd bring up Mercedes. Just to beat the living piss out of both of them. Yes, I think it might accidentally create a triple threat, but I don't want that, but... It also could be a point where I don't think Willow would be against taking the pin against Mercedes. I think for what happened, like the history between Willow and Mercedes, and the fact that Willow got made because of Mercedes in many ways at New Japan Strong there in that fatal 4-way where Mercedes ended up breaking her ankle. Well, at least she's not waiting for 2.5 and getting caught in there. Forgive me, folks. No AC and a little steamy in here, that's all. Currently 26 degrees outside. She actually going to try a moonsault? I didn't think so. All right, that sucked. I would have went for a pin there. Bad camera angle. Folks, did you guys see what I saw? I think the crowd saw the same thing we did. And that's the danger you run in a match like this. All right, let's get this done. Dr. Bomb time. You know she's not hitting the Dr. Bomb yet. All right, good. All right. Let's get it out of this. No definitive victory. Champion didn't get beaten by a finisher. Yeah, Willow did get an arm up, but I don't think she kicked out at all. And that's why I'm like, the hell? And that's one of those things you worry about in this thing, right? But you need a better camera angle to show that arm come up. I think she got knocked out. And that's why I worry about having somebody like a Maya in the match. Great cover, though, by Riccaboni. Trying to get... One thing you could do is terms of an announcer or a commentator, you could overemphasize exactly what isn't happening. Like a kick out, like it should have. And if you oversell it, a lot of people will just believe it and move on. But again, another Maya match. Another Maya what the fuck. Drives me up the wall some days. Then the other days are just days covered in Y. But other than that tonight, like, what did you guys think overall? Like, personally, I think it was a pretty good show. She wasn't bad. There wasn't great. Yeah, like, they were put in a bad spot. It was a filler match. It was a filler main event. Honestly, I would have almost, except for the fact that they went with the comedy thing to start off the show, that almost could have been a main event. But that's the problem you run into this time of year is what do you build yourself to where you don't really want to push one of your pay-per-view matches. Like almost tonight, I would almost do another Brodito match as your main event. That way you can announce another team getting in there. Like hell, have the Bang Bang Gang come out after and just say that they're in there. But other than that, like I said, it is a very, I think the term we use is serviceable. It was a very good serviceable show that we could use to create buzz for the pay-per-view. I think Wednesday will do enough to put those people that are in the block, whether they want to spend the $50. I think they do need to hit a bit of a home run on Wednesday. And I think Claudio Mox will be enough to do that. And the emotion of the building when Nigel beats Kyle. And if honestly, if Nigel can't go, Kyle Mox in a main event for that title, there's enough story behind that you can use that too. So it's a very safe pick for Tony Khan to use that. So it's not the worst thing in the world, but could be, like I said, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the best thing in the world. It's a thing in the world, for lack of a better term. And other than that, it's been a fun time chatting with all of you here tonight. We're going to wrap up this part of the show for that point right now. So for those on Twitch, hang on for a sec. We'll get to BPW in just a moment here. But for those on YouTube, we are recording Backbreaker Pro Wrestling live over on our Twitch channel, and will be put up on our gaming channel later this week, Backbreaker_gaming. So please feel free to head over there and check things out. But make sure you give a like, make sure you give a subscribe if you can. We're crazily close to 1,000 subscribers. If we could get up to 1,000, it would be such a blessing and such a great thing to see here, and just very thankful for all of you regardless. But as always, folks, we'll be back here Wednesday with AEW Dynamite, and hopefully no kinks like we did today. Things seem to run actually somewhat smooth today. So make sure you check us out on the Backbreaker Video YouTube channel, and until we see you next time, take care.